And I'm going to invite Dale Starbuck to come and join me on the platform. Now, for most of us, Dale has been a part of our worship. And I believe, Dale, you said it was 40 years ago that you began playing the organ here at Sychar. We have a number of ways that we want to honor you, as this is the last year that Dale will be playing the organ on a regular basis. It is certainly not such that he will never play again, we hope, but certainly he will not be playing in the way that we're have grown accustomed to over these last 40 years. So Dale, we want to honor you tonight, and we want to do so in a number of ways. One is that we are granting you the golden meal ticket, which means you get meal tickets for the remainder of your time here with us. We are also granting you a lifetime membership in the Board Cottage Club, which means you will get your cottage for the board rate. Thank you for that. I have a gift card that the board would like to present to you, and it's in my cottage, and I will get that for you at the conclusion of the service. But there's one other piece that I want to share with you, Dale, and over the last couple of days, Dale shared with me on this past Monday that this would be his last year, and I reached out to my fellow board members and asked them what is an appropriate way, or what are some appropriate ways that we can honor Dale's 40 years among us. And one of them came up with the idea of putting together just a written tribute to Dale that acknowledges his 40 years, but does so using 40 song titles. And I would imagine that over probably 40 years, Dale, you've played in maybe close to 1,000 services here. No doubt you've played these songs multiple times. And so I have offered this with the help of some board members, and I won't name them. I will simply take the blame if it is no good, Dale. But as you have known me all my life, and you have often reminded me of my shortcomings, if this is one, add it to the list. But I've entitled this an ode to Dale Starbuck on 40 years of service. Dale, as we mark the completion of your time helping us worship the Lord well in Camp Sychar, we felt it most appropriate to pay our tribute to you in song titles. 40 years ago, a new era of holiness organ playing was inaugurated. What was the first thought you had as you sat down at the organ for the first service at which you played? Did you reach down and turn on the organ and exclaim in astonishment, "All hail the power"? Even before you walked into the main tabernacle, did you pray a prayer of consecration that began to cleanse me for the task ahead? Did you remind yourself that even if you missed a note or forgot a chord change, that His grace is sufficient for me? Then the years started to roll by. You've listened to countless sermons during the last 40 years. Some of them were so powerful that perhaps you thought it is truly wonderful. Perhaps as you listened to others, you thought, I'd rather have Jesus. You've accompanied numerous song evangelists and singers in those years, and were confident that you so enjoyed hearing them sing that you wanted to shout out, "Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing." You've heard a myriad of amateur singers during those years as well. Some of them have asked you to accompany them, and you've responded with such grace and mercy, "Thou art worthy." For many years it was your piano playing that rocked us to sleep as we listened to someone sing the goodnight song. None of us can fully comprehend the level of dedication it takes to play for every worship service at Camp Sychar. It will not surprise any of us if there have been times when you thought the longer I serve Him, the more tired I get. Yet you have reminded us that it's not your own strength that you count on. When asked how you've done it, your constant response has been, "Love lifted me." Dale, great is your faithfulness to have been so consistent over these last 40 years. Each year we come and we wonder, will Dale be at the organ once again this year? And the constant reply has been, "He abides." Every year we experience showers of blessing as we listen to you play. Your diligence and commitment are the evidence of your love, such love, for Camp Sychar. There was a time in Camp Sychar history when the names of our organists and pianists were so inextricably linked that it was as if they were one person, Dale and Grace. Throughout those years, we were convinced that heaven came down every time the two of you played. There was excitement when we came into his house and gathered in his name, and you and Grace helped us praise Jesus. You both let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you. So many times when you and Grace shared with us an offertory, it could only be described as wonderful. Now, for the last few years, you and Judy Mann have led us to the throne of grace with your music. I know when Judy took over the piano, she had some anxiety over it. After the first few services that the two of you played together, I asked Judy how she was doing. She replied that it was going far better than she could have expected. I asked her what she thought was the key. She turned and pointed at you and softly said, "You leave it to me." Now that the two of you have worked so well together for a few years, we simply know with blessed assurance that we have the best accompanists in all the Camp Meeting family, and for that we say to God be the glory. Even as musical styles have changed over the years, there have been suggestions that perhaps the days of the organ have passed by. That it's time for Dale to step away from the organ and sit peacefully in a rocking chair. Yet the cry has gone out from the Sychar family about you, don't turn him away. I'm going to get personal now, Dale. I have known you all my life. You and Diane have been a consistent presence in the life of my family for many generations. A beautiful connection that began years ago when you were in my grandfather's church has blossomed into a relationship that's truly been a gift to me over and over again. When I became president of the Camp Sychar board, I lacked confidence to lead, but you encouraged me. When I was too introverted to lead the morning prayer meeting and song, you volunteered to play the piano. You gave me the little bit of confidence I needed. In fact, I can say, in all honesty, about you, Dale, that when it came to my introversion, he brought me out, and he keeps me singing. On a serious note, thank you for always showing me and all of us the love of God. Now in your year 40 of your time as our camp organist, we've seen how age has affected you. I personally sat on the platform and watched you as the message was shared from the pulpit, and there were moments when I've grown concerned. I tried to get Judy's attention, nodded towards you, Dale, and mouthed the words, "Revive him again." But you have proven to be wide awake and like a cleansing wave that swept back up to the organ and kept us marching to Zion. You are still on top of your craft, even as age has dimmed your eyesight and hearing. I recall the day, without even turning around from your place at the organ, you shouted to Randy Spain, "Send the light," because you couldn't see the sheet music any longer. The day Drew Clark honored your request for your own monitor, I saw you whisper the words, "Save, save." We've all been amazed, as those who've looked at the back of your head for 40 years, that your hair is not whiter than snow. You've given so much of yourself for the sake of the cross and Camp Sychar and asked for so little in return. Although when that great wealth sent you the bill for your cottage, you sent back, "Jesus paid it all." And there has been debate concerning who is the greatest organist in the history of the holiness movement. Many names have been offered: Blake Hauser, Lynn Smith, Jimmy Smith. But I know whom I had believed, that there is only one name that surpasses all when it comes to the keys and the pedals. So crown him with many crowns, Dale Starbuck, King of the Camp Meeting organ. When you told me earlier this week that this would be your last year, I stood again and prayed, "Lord, lay some soul upon my heart." Who will follow you, Dale? What child prodigy among us has watched you with rapt attention as you played and said, "Oh, to be like thee"? Could it be little Dougie Daft? Now, as you softly and tenderly tickle the ivories for the last time, and you move on to the glorious freedom of retirement from playing the organ, may you be satisfied with the job well done. When we all get to heaven, we imagine you'll be accompanying the angels as they gather around the throne. Dale, thank you for 40 years of service. Words cannot express our appreciation to you for all that you have done to help us worship, for how you have led for years on the board, and for most of all, how you have been for us a picture of what it is to live a life of holiness. Dale, thank you. I want to offer you an opportunity if you'd like to say anything. You have 2 minutes. Music has always been a part of my life. And I came here first as a boy at 13 years old, and that was 40 years ago, or give or take. And I watched our organs play, I watched our pianists play, I listened, I heard, and I went home and tried to play the way they did it. And no one can play like Grace Bob. I know that. But I tried. I never dreamed that one day I would be sitting on that bench. So the Lord has blessed me, as I hope I have blessed you. It's been a great, great journey, and I will be forever grateful for the opportunity that I've had to serve. I shared with different ones this week that in everything I've done, I taught school for 36 years. I taught Sunday school for nearly 60 years. I played here for 40. I played in our local churches for nearly 60 years. And the thing that crosses my mind is that I want to make a difference. And I hope that these 40 years here at Camp Sychar, I have